A very good morning to you all. So I hope I'm audible to you all. Good morning, Sai Kumar. Okay, so let's begin where we left yesterday. I'll share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you all. Okay, so let's begin with a quick recap where we left yesterday, and then we'll begin with today's topics. So yesterday we covered what exactly EC2 is and what exactly EC2 stands for, and what all kind of activities that we can do using spinning up EC2 instance, where we can spin up an instance, share the access to multiple people, configure it, and the most important point that we have to terminate the instance. So we have come across like what are all the type of instances there are, and also the key components of the instance, that is AMI, Amazon Machine Image, security groups, how important it is to attach security groups, because we did a mistake yesterday that we were, we forgot to attach a security group. So after only attaching the security group, we were able to spin up the instance. Also the key pairs that how we created a key pair, unique name for it. And also we saw the launch workflow, like the step by step, there were 4 steps. We came across all those steps yesterday. And also the cost optimization, that how cost optimization can be done, that we can go through the data and see in the cost explorer that for how long, how amount of services were used, and if some of them or a few services of them are not being used, we can stop them or terminate them. Also we came across what EC2 and Lambda is. Okay, so before getting into today's topic, there is something we left yesterday. So I'll quickly reshare my entire screen. Okay, so we were trying to create a Lambda function yesterday. So we were not able to do that. We were failing at some point. So I'll quickly log into my console. Okay. So this is my home screen. This is the dashboard for AWS Management Console. I'll just simply search for Lambda. And yeah, there you go. So yesterday we created this function called my first function. So we were not able to access the coding dashboard or say some sort of uh, coding environment, something like VS Code, right? So we forgot to see this point. That is, the code editors does not support the Java 25 runtime. So we created an function for Java. So AWS right now doesn't support the Java 25 runtime. So we selected that configuration. So what we'll do, we'll go get back to the function screen. We'll create a new function and we'll name it as my second function. And will this time we'll simply use Node.js as it is. I mean, we are not gonna write a code there. We'll just see if the environment is getting ready. So we'll see if the Node.js part is being uh, able to write the code there. So we'll create a function without any configurations. It will take a minute, I guess. As you can see, it is taking some time over here. Okay, so the code is the environment is created. As you can see, it says configure AWS CLI credentials. So in this course, we are not coming to this part of CLI, that is command line interface. So this is basically, this course is basically about what are all the services that are available in AWS Management Console and how we can spin up them and how we can access them. So there is if you are interested, if you are all interested, there is something called CLI. You can if you are able to write a code, or say you are a developer and you want to get into AWS, then you should know what exactly command prompt is, where you can execute or run the code, or you can switch from files in between files. So there is something for AWS as well that is called command line interface, which is visually it is available in the AWS Management Console itself. So if you can see over here, this is the okay, this is the environment created for our code. We can create multiple folders here, multiple subfiles over here, and a lot of things. So you can write your code, you can run your like it is as easy as you use your code in AWS Visual Code. So it gives them another option called Open in Visual Studio Code. So what it does is, say you don't want to write your code in this environment. What you do, you just open Visual Studio Code and just get into it, and the environment will be created as it is in the Visual Studio, which is locally present. And if you're making some changes in your Visual Studio, it will appear over here and it will be live in the website. If some customer or say any end user is trying to access, it will be parallelly happening for that user. So you should be very sure that what exactly code you are uploading. So if there is any issue in your code or say some bugs in it, you have to fix them and then you have to upload in the AWS Lambda. So this is a very important service or say a function in the AWS thing. So we'll get back to our PPT. Okay. So so these are all the things that we came across yesterday. So let's begin in today's session, that is AWS S3, which is nothing but simple storage service. So if you can see this image over here on the right side, you can see a bucket and there are a few objects or say any material kept in it. So why it is kept like that, we'll understand it. And let's go. So the first thing that we are going to understand is what is exactly S3, that is simple storage service, and what exactly simple storage service is, we'll know. Yeah, there is a concept called bucket and objects. We'll come across it. I'll get a deeper dive into it. Storage classes, what kind of storage classes are there? For a longer term of storage, what services we should prefer instead of S3, that is archival and glacier. We'll come across it. And what are all the permissions or say set of security rules that we have to create for our S3? We'll come across it. And the real world use cases, as usual, we come across this part. So, okay. Okay, so what exactly simple storage service is? So simple storage is nothing but a scalable object storage service where we can store objects or say store files, any kind of folders, any kind of data in a form of object. It is as simple as say you have a bucket in your home, and in that bucket you keep some objects. So we'll get back to the first screen. As you can see over here, suppose there is a bucket kept in front of you and you keep adding the objects in it. So and you can carry that bucket wherever you want. So AWS S3 follows the same concept over here, where you store files or say any kind of folders as an object in the bucket. So bucket is nothing but the storage or say a database where you keep on adding the data. So what are all the key features of the AWS S3? So the first key storage is you can store unlimited data, which is of any type, which could be application or which could be folders, which could be files, could be anything, but that data will be stored as a object in the bucket. So you can access file from anywhere via HTTP or say HTTPS. You can access your S3 bucket through publicly or say globally, or you can create a local environment for it and you can access from there. Only you can access from them. So yeah, so this concepts comes here again, that is only pay for what you use, pay per usage. So only pay for a certain amount of period of time that you are using. Suppose you add a folder which is for 100 GBs and you add that folder in the bucket which is for S3, and if you keep it for 24 hours, so you and then you delete it. So you have to only pay for those 24 hours, that amount of service that you have been using. So there is a built-in redundancy and a durability by S3, which is a hardware model, and AWS will be taking care of this part. Okay, coming to why S3 is being trusted. So you might be worrying कि okay, मैं अपने mobile में, I mean I'll store something in my mobile and it will be safe with me. But why people are actually trusting S3 or say AWS, that they're themselves storing their important data, user data in the servers of AWS. So or the storages of AWS. Why they are doing this? So coming to this part, that 99.99999, there will be 9 nines in this 99.9%, where there is a good durability, there is a good security for your data, so there will be no data threat issues in AWS. So also coming to the availability, your data is accessible globally. You can make a local environment as well. You can make a public environment for your S3. You can create a public link and make it available publicly. Also, there are also what you can do. You can create a disaster recovery backup for your storages across the availability zones in a region. Uh, okay, so again, this point is highlighted over here. That is, AWS S3 bucket is a high fault tolerant. Means suppose there are kind of data disasters or say any sort of issues in certain data centers, you will have a backup of that data in another availability zone in the same region. So, okay, coming back, what exactly a bucket and object is. So you basically imagine a virtual bucket or say a real bucket and you keep adding things in it. Could be anything. So AWS follows the same concept over here. That is, there is a bucket, you add objects as a or say files or folders as an object in virtual. So bucket is a top level folder containing your data, as simple as that. So what you can do, create buckets in specific AWS regions. Okay, you create buckets in a region and then you deploy in multiple availabilities in a single region. And also you must name the DNS cookie. Okay, so you when you say that you are going to have terabyte of data and then you want to access it, that data will be very important for you, right? So sorry, so you must have a DNS compliant for that. And also you can contain unlimited objects. When we say unlimited, you can add any amount of data in that storage server. Also, objects are nothing but file or say any kind of folder, any kind of application, any kind of website data. You can store it in a S3 buckets as an object. So, okay. Before that, let's quickly spin up a AWS S3. It is as simple as you are hosting or say you are uploading your say file or say a folder from mobile to Google Drive or say OneDrive. So we'll quickly log into our account. Okay, so we are in this region or say availability zone, that is N Virginia in United States. We'll quickly search for S3. So, okay, you can see over here, scalable storage in the cloud. Okay, so we'll open this service. Okay, so it is asking us to in every object in S3 stored as a bucket. I mean, every file or say folder is stored as an object in a bucket. So we'll create a bucket over here. We'll come again. Okay, so why are we using this? This is for general purpose, that is for directory. For now, we'll be using for general purpose. So basically it is free version and the AWS region is US East, that is N Virginia. And we'll quickly name a bucket. Bucket one. Choose a bucket. Okay. There is no existing bucket in my account, so we'll quickly choose the bucket one. We'll say object ownership, that is ACL disabled. Okay, this concept of ACL, this comes in a higher level of understanding. So right now we'll keep it disabled. And coming to this very important part. So there is a checkbox over here for block all public access. Okay, so this has to be checked if you are not allowing your data to be publicly accessible to anyone using a certain link. So as of now, I'll keep this block. Bucket versioning will keep it disabled. And are there any other things? Okay, you need not to worry about it, because by default AWS provides us the best settings in the free version. So we'll create a bucket immediately. Okay. So I intentionally named this bucket as bucket one. Why? So AWS says bucket, okay, bucket with the same name already exists. It is like your Instagram user ID. Suppose you have a username, say XYZ123. So that XYZ123 cannot be acquired by any other person, right? So here it's the same. So what we'll do, I'll name this as Adi bucket. I hope people, okay, we cannot take at the rate as well. So I'll say Adi bucket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it fine? Let's see. We create a bucket out of it. I hope it works. Yeah, perfect. So there is a bucket now, as you can see, Adi bucket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a region of N Virginia in the US. We can also see the timings. So let's quickly get into the bucket. Okay, so when imagine your mobile data storage has exceeded the limit of say 64 GB. Let's get back into for 10-15 years, and 64 GB storage in mobile was very huge. So at that time, what people used to do, or now still people are doing that thing, that they are uploading the data to the cloud. That is OneDrive, Google Drive, Apple Cloud, could be anything. So what we do, you imagine that we are uploading the data to the cloud in OneDrive. So it is as easy as that. You can just click on this button, upload, and as of now, we'll create a folder. So okay, it is asking me to upload a folder. We're already in a folder, files in folder. Okay, we'll directly upload a file. So suppose I'll say desktop, I have a folder. Okay, so I have a doc over here, and simply I'll upload it. So it is a size of 14.6 KB, which is very less than MB. So I have uploaded over here, and you can access it anytime whenever you want. You can click over here and the file will be opened, and using this link you can actually share it with anyone, but with a limited access. So they cannot delete, or they cannot retrieve, or they cannot download it. But you in your local machine can immediately do that. If I click on this, the link will be opened, and my particular document will be shown over there. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And the very most important thing, which okay, I have not uploaded it. Okay, I'll upload it. Yeah. So my file is uploaded over here, which is 14.6 terabyte. You can access it over clicking on this button. And also you can come across this configurations that we have done while creating the bucket. That is very simple. I mean, they by default do that for our bucket. And also the name of the bucket was very unique. We'll get back to that state. Wait. Yeah. So the buckets, going back to the bucket, my bucket name has to be unique. The region has to be specified, in which region you want that the data to be stored. So what we'll do, the most important thing, we have to delete that bucket which we have created in the S3. So we'll simply delete the bucket. So yeah, so before deleting a bucket, it will ask us to empty the bucket. So what we'll do, we'll get back to the bucket. We'll check this, we'll delete it. I think we'll have to type it, yeah. Permanently delete. So only if we type it, then only it will be deleted. It is a mandatory step. Okay, perfect. So the successfully deleted objects. As you can see, any file that has been stored, it will be called as an object over here. So what we'll do, we'll close this, we'll come back to our buckets, we'll select this bucket and we'll simply delete. Okay, it is asking me to type the name. I'll type the name of the bucket, Adi bucket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'll delete the bucket. Perfect. So this is how you create a bucket. You add the data, add the files, add the folders in the bucket. You can share the link of the bucket. It's very easy. Like there is a folder in my OneDrive, and say if you want to share that folder to someone, what do? You click on those three dots, and there is an option called share. It is very equally as easy as that. You can go back to that and you can click on that share button. You can copy that link, and you can share it to anyone with limited access. Okay. So this is what we have done. I'll quickly create a poll for you all. Just a second. I hope you all have understood what we have done. I hope the chat is open for you all. If you're able to understand, you can quickly respond. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll be creating a poll for you all. Ravi sir, is the chat open for you for them? Okay, Ravi sir has left the meeting. Just a second. I'll
No,
create a poll.
Aditya,
No,
please.
right? Okay.
No.
Okay. And noted. Okay, they are able to chat. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Haripriya, for confirming. Um, I'll create a poll quickly. Okay. I hope the poll is visible to you all people. Yeah, it is now. So you can respond to it if you can see it. So where do you currently store your important personal files? Do you store in laptop? Do you use any Google Drive, iCloud, or say OneDrive? Or do you use any external hard disk that you have to carry? Or you don't at all do the backups? I mean, okay. Two, you use, okay. What, Sai Kumar, which cloud provider do you use for this? Google Drive. Okay. Okay. So, okay, fine. Um, Google Photos. Okay. Do you have any other people? Um, the chat is open for you all. Laptop. Okay. Okay, I have another question I have posted in the chat. Do you think that S3 or simple storage service can replace pen drive or storage service? Do you think that? A few years ago, people used to carry a small thing called pen drive to store their data and copy paste in other machines. Do you think that S3 is going to replace them? Can a few people respond to it? Can anyone respond to this thing? Maybe no. Depends on the use. Okay. Not totally, but it can. Okay. ठीक है. ठीक है. Yeah, so basically the answer could be, according to me, I mean, it still depends upon the people. I think yes, S3 can totally be replaced by, I mean, pen drives can be easily replaced by S3 buckets. I mean, it is very easy to access. It's just as sharing your links. I'll get back to where we were, or maybe I'll have to share only one thing, the PPT. Yeah. So what kind of S3 buckets there are? We are gonna have a look at it. So I hope my screen is visible from current slide. Okay. Okay, so what kind of S3 buckets are available, or say what kind of S3 storages are available in provided by AWS? So one is S3 standard, where you can, what we did simple. We created an bucket, we added some objects or say files or folders, and then we made it available publicly, and and we can share it to anyone. Another type of storage that is S3 standard infrequent access. So what exactly is infrequent? Infrequent का English meaning है कि people who don't actually access it immediately or say frequently. अगर हम कुछ data add कर रहे हैं, we don't retrieve it, something like that. So best case example is we all use WhatsApp chat backups, right? But nobody is uninstalling WhatsApp every day and retrieving their chats. Whenever you try to retrieve, it takes some time. It takes some time, right? So this is how Stage 3 standard infrequent access works. So one more thing, that is one zone infrequent access, that is your data or say your objects will be stored in one availability zone and you can access only in that, and there will be no disaster recovery available for that. So this is a little affordable, as at this point says, that is this storage class is customer seeking affordable storage. So the customer who is trying to access it and say they have a little budget, they can use this. So basically there is very less chance, that is 0.8 zeros and 1, that is 0.00001% chance that this data will be corrupted. Another thing, that is S3 Glacier instant retrieval. When we say Glacier, it means that data has been stored for a longer time. The simple definition of glacier is that is very old ice which is frozen and kept at one place. So it is the same topic in S3 bucket. That is, whenever you are storing data in a longer period, but you want to access it immediately, at that time you have to use S3 Glacier. So this is a little cheaper than say S3 standard. It comes up to approx 65 to 70% of lower prices. So this is very important. S3 Glacier, many companies uses this. So why people use Glacier? I mean, why they want to store the data for a really longer time, say 15, 20 years. So there are certain banks or say certain companies, finance related companies, and also some hospitals. What they do, they have to store the data of users, even if user is coming back after 15, 20 years. So best example is suppose you are using UPI. UPI is a red hot thing, right? So people are using UPI and they want to see how much amount of money they have spent like a year back, 2 years back, or say 6 months back, right? So they want to retrieve the data. So at that time, such things comes in place, and not only PhonePe, many other companies like, or I need not to mention the companies, but there are certain banks and certain finance companies that they have to use Glacier kind of services. Could be any other cloud provider. Also, Glacier flexible retrieval. Okay, so this is um, similar to AWS Glacier, but in this case, what happens is you are going to retrieve the data or say that access the data like once or twice or maybe thrice a year only. But and also comes with the problem like your data will be accessed very slowly, but this is very cheap as compared to other services like S3 standard, S3's instant Glacier retrieval, so something like that. So this is a little cheaper than that. Coming to Glacier Deep Archive, okay, this is what banks or say many hospitals or healthcare centers uses this. So this comes at a little cheaper than a previous version that was I mean AWS Glacier Access. So this people they give a time period of 10 to 12 hours of access. I mean 10 से 12 घंटा लगता है if you want to access your data. So yeah, why long-term storage matters? Okay, this is also very important, right? Why we want to store the data for longer time? So you can see over here, this is the logo for bank. Definitely, they want to store the data for longer time. Also, the hospitals they want to store the data for really longer time because the customer needs that data. Or say there are certain guidelines provided by RBI that that the banks, certain banks, or say many banks in India, they have to maintain the records. Earlier, going back to 2000s or say 1995, at that time, it was all written in a book to maintain the records, and those records were kept at a place. But now what we have to do, it is mandate now. We cannot store the data in a book and keep it somewhere. So it has become a mandate that we have to store our data in a cloud server, and that data can be accessed anytime, anywhere through such cloud providers like AWS, Azure, many other like Oracle, many other things like IBM. That is also comes in a place. So also audit and legal protection, historical data supports audits. Yeah. So RBI guidelines पे आते हैं. They want us to store our data for a longer time. This might come for legal investigations. Suppose किसी पे case चल रहा है, if we bring back Vijay Mallya to India and we say suppose at that time we had such things like cloud thing and विजय माल्या का पूरा रिकॉर्ड निकालने के लिए we will have to go back to those book era, right? We have to retrieve data from that book, and who knows that data might be altered by anyone, right? But in cloud, we cannot alter that data because it is very secure. Also, coming to the automation, automated retention. Okay, this is another very good service that is provided by AWS. That is, say your data has to be stored in a बैंक सर्वर से आरबीआई सेज कि एक यूजर का डेटा बैंक के पास एटलीस्ट 30 years के लिए होना चाहिए. आई डोंट रिमेंबर द एग्जैक्ट ईयर्स बट से आरबीआई सेज एक यूजर का डेटा at least it has to be for 30 years with bank. So what we can do, add that data and make a configuration while we are creating that bucket. We make a configuration ki okay 30 years बाद ये data automatically delete हो जाना चाहिए. And only अभी समझो there are 30 users right now. We create an account on AWS, we create a bucket, and we say we create add the data for 5 years. We make configuration ki user ka data has to be deleted after 5 years. What we do, we add the data and we make configurations, and we say okay after 5 years the data has to be deleted automatically. So for from 2025 to 2030, we have to only pay for that time period, and after that this user data will be deleted and we need not to pay for it. So this is also a very good thing that is provided by AWS. So yeah, so when we compare like how many people are using what kind of S3 service, that is बहुत लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा S3 use करता है, many number of people. High, that is infrequent access, many less people are using. Intelligent tiering. Intelligent tiering is nothing but your data has to be deleted at some point, right? I mean, we cannot keep user data for a really longer time. So what you do, you can create an automation configuration in the S3 bucket and you delete the data after a certain period of time. Because in a bank, every year people are creating an account, right? Every year, many people, I mean, the population is increasing. Many people are creating an account in the banks. So parallelly, as people are adding, the data has to be deleted from 30 years back. So this is how it has to be done. So let me create an poll for you all. So have you understood that what exactly S3 bucket is, S3 standard bucket is, what exactly infrequent access is? So if you have any questions, you can ask me. The chat is open for you all. So meanwhile, I'll create a poll for you people. I'll open a topic for you all in the chat. This is very important question because when you are in a role of cloud engineer or say pre-sales cloud engineer, you should know this point. So you can check why do we need bank? I mean, why do you think that banking system needs this level of reliability? Can you answer? The chat is open for you all. Can anyone answer? The chat is open for you people. Why do you think that bank needs such level of reliability? Very simple answer. If you want, I can enable your mics manually. I cannot hide. Protect sensitive data. Okay, very good. What else? What else could be? What else could be? I'm manually enabling the mics for you all. You can open it if you want to talk. Any other things? You can Google it. No big thing, because they deal with people's money. Okay, coming back to I mean that's the same point, right? It is sensitive data. Okay, I have enabled everyone's mic, I guess. There is one note taker, need not to do that. If you want to talk, you can talk. Technical demands of 27 for digital banking. Yeah, we can say that. I mean, yeah, that is one of the major thing. Okay, so there is one more thing, that is bank must, okay, there is a small paragraph I'm adding in the chat. You must make a note of this. This is very important. That is, bank must store data for 7 to 10 years. Okay, coming to this point, RBI has created some guidelines. That is, the bank has to store the data for at least 7 to 10 years. That is the regulations, and they won't, definitely they cannot afford. I mean, even if they afford, it will be a loss for them in terms of money, right? So they cannot use S3 standard. So what AWS does is, it will make an idea. I mean, it will create a report that ये user कितने time के लिए रखने वाला है, और से they do a background check of the customer, and they themselves suggest that okay, आपको S3 standard नहीं लेना चाहिए, you have to take a glacier. So what they do, they will do that. I mean, suppose there is a bank, Canara Bank. Canara Bank क्या करता है, they create an S3 standard, they store the data in it, and they keep paying the bills, like महीने का एक दो करोड़ रुपए they are paying. So what AWS does, they will automatically transfer their data from S3 standard to S3 glacier, and they will make the bills from 1 CR to 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs per year, per annum. So this is how things work in AWS, and they want us to pay as less as we can. So this is the pricing model. So did you understand this point, everybody? Did you get this thing? This is very important. You can reply yes or no if you are able to. Can I get some yes or no? Okay, finally a yes. Standard. Okay, I'm creating another poll for you all, that very easy. Okay, I'm launching a poll. You can, if you're not able to respond to it, you can uh, add it to the chat. You can respond to the chat. If you store CCTV footage, suppose बैंक के बाहर CCTV footage लगा है, and which exactly service that we have to use if it is accessed very less, very infrequently. What do you think? कौन सा होगा answer? Suppose I'll make it very easy for you. People are going to access it once a week, and that's all. Which service is preferable in this case? What do you all think? Should we use standard? Should we use standard IA? Should we use glacier? Or you don't know? What could be? You can Google about it. No worries. You can chat GPT about it. At least समझोगे that what we are learning. Glacier. Okay. So Triveni, why do you think we should use glacier if we are going to access it like at least once a week? I mean, if you are going to use glacier, we will be accessing it once or twice a year, right? So no, glacier is not an answer. What else? What else could be? Should we use standard? Should we use standard IA? Which one? Anyone else? You can Google about it. You can try to figure it out. कैसे होगा? Standard IA. Okay, standard IA with a question mark. Okay. So yes, standard IA has to be used. Infrequent access मतलब we are accessing something infrequently. बहुत कम access करते हैं, but करते हैं. So when we say if it is glacier, we are accessing it once or twice a year. But when we say infrequent access, that could be any time, right? If we are accessing now, we might access it tomorrow as well, but maybe after a week. So for that thing, we will be accessing using standard infrequent access. And when we are sure that every day we are gonna access it, at that time we are gonna use standard I. So how AWS will cost us in S3 is what they'll do. They will cost us in two ways. That is, if we are downloading some data and when we are fetching that data. So this is how they charge us. This is a very important thing that you all have to know. Okay, so let's get back to our PPT. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. So yeah, why glacier and archival storage we are going to use? So very basic, very easy things that are perfect for long haul or say hibernation mode पे चले जाते bear something like that. We are going to use it very, or maybe we are going to access it very infrequently. Cost efficient. This is 95% cheaper. I was saying it is little cheaper, little cheaper. It is 95% cheaper than S3 standard data that you rarely access. Suppose there is a file or say there is documents of your, just for an example, there is a document of your property and that you are going to access it only when you open the will for it. So you can add the data in it in the glacier and you can access it whenever you want, or maybe once a year or maybe longer period. Flexible retrieval. So you can retrieve the data in some sort of minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes it will take for the data retrieval, and it is compliance ready, ideal for banks. Banks use it whenever they want to retrieve the data. So sometimes it takes 5 to 10 minutes for retrieving the data. So let's get into the second thing, that is lifecycle management automation. So you can automate the lifecycle of an S3 bucket. You can add the object. You'll understand. Okay. In S3 standard, what you can do, you can add the data. You can frequently access it. In the IA, you can add the data and you can frequently access. They say after 30 days, but we can access it like once a week, twice a week. Glacier, we are sure that we are going to access the data very rarely, once or twice a year. So use that, and also retention or say deletion. So what you do, as the bank says or the RBI says, you have to delete the data, or I mean, you can delete the data after 7 to 10 years. So what basically you do, you can add the data and your data will be deleted automatically after 7 to 10 years. Okay, and it says set it and forget it. So what banks can do, banks वालों का जिंदगी आसान हो गया इसमें. They can use the data, add the data in the glacier, and they set an automation that the user data will be deleted after some years. And yeah, that's all. When you people are creating an account, the bank asks you to do some check boxes, right? So in that checkbox, this is one of the important clause. It says your data will be deleted after 10 years or say 15 years, after 7 years. We never read it, right? We just click on terms and conditions and we create an account. We never knew before today that our data will be deleted after some time. So obviously, it comes with access control, data protection. These are very simple things that AWS had made it simple, but it is not simple, right? So it has made simple that your access can be controlled, your data can be protected in every possible way, and you can only access the data if you want. You can only access your data in your local machine through certain configurations. Yeah, so that's all for the AWS S3 part. I'll quickly stop sharing my screen. I'll create another poll for you all if I have. So give me a minute. Okay, this will be a good question. I'll make it available in the chat. You can respond to it. It is open for everyone who is in the meeting. Can anyone respond to it? Maybe you can open your mic if you want. Does S3 automatically encrypt your data? क्या आपके डेटा को वो अपने आप सेव करता है? Yeah, Haripriya says yes. I think yes. Okay, you think yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it is gonna do that. That is the function. That is the reason why we are shifting to cloud, right? One more question. Very good question. I have yes or no. Yeah. Should buckets be public by default? I mean, should it be publicly accessible by default? I mean, suppose आपका कुछ data है, images है, and you are adding to S3 bucket. Should it be okay? Should it be accessible? No, no. Anyone else? Yeah, this is basic common sense, right? Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody has to do that. Exactly. One. Yeah. So that is all questions I had for you today. So the chat is open for everyone. If you have any questions, the mic is allowed for everyone. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, so are you all freshers or do you have a job already in your hand? You can reply to it in the chat. Are you all freshers looking for a job or already having a job? I want to know the idea, I mean, background of you people. Fresher, okay. There are a few in this meeting, I know them already. Anyone else? Haripriya, Pradnya, Amruta, Lakshmi Prasad. Okay, so what background do you have? Like you all come from BCA, MCA, BTech? BBA, okay. Another question for you all. I'll type it and I'll say it. Can we use S3 for personal use like storing data? Yes, you can use it. Be in computer science. Okay, so yes, you can use that S3 bucket to store data. And I think a certain amount of data can be stored free for an year. and it will be protected. It is publicly available, but you will have to pay after a year. From BTech EC. Okay, perfect. So another question for you all: have you all come across cloud before? Like, did you know what exactly cloud is, what servers are before these sessions? Can anyone answer me quickly? Have you all come across cloud? Yes, but basic. Okay. We have a basic idea about it, sir. Okay. Anyone else? Rest all have been very silent throughout the class. Uh, I mean, I want to know if you have any prior knowledge of cloud, and maybe we can do a quick interaction if you want. Okay, fine. So we'll get back to a quick recap of what we have done today. I will open the PPT. Yeah. So, so these are all the topics that we have covered today. That is, we have understood what S3 is, what S3 stands for, simple storage service, how we store data, files, folders in bucket as an object. We have understood what exactly storage classes are. We have understood what type of storage classes are there, like standardized, standard, glacier, longer term retrieval, and how we create permissions. I mean, we were blocking, right? We were blocking the public access. And what we have understood what real world cases are, like banks, hospitals, and many such things. So if you have any questions out of this, you can ask me. The screen is being shared with you all already. If you have any questions, you can ask. I'll end the meeting in another 2 or 3 minutes max. If you have any questions, you can ask me. You can open your mic and can respond. Hi, Ravi sir, can you hear me? Okay. If you have any questions, please type in the chat box. It is open for you all. Uh, Pradnya, Triveni, Shruti, Sai Kumar, Mohit Kumar. Do you have any questions or should I close it? So tomorrow will be another session for cloud where we'll come across cloud deployment architecture. That is one thing pending. And if you have any questions or say any topic, if you want me to cover, I'll do that tomorrow. And so S3 bucket size limited. See, it is limited for 5 terabytes at one upload. The size of the bucket is unlimited, but at once you can upload only 5 terabyte of data. That is the thing. It is unlimited. You will be only able to upload the data for 5 terabyte. 5 terabyte is a lot of data. And it is secure. Yeah, 99.99s. So I hope you all have created an account on AWS Management Console. Without that, you won't be able to access these services. So, okay, thank you all. Thank you attending for this session. I'm ending this meeting now. Let's see you tomorrow, 11 a.m.